Frank here with Doomed Stoned, and I'm here with Goya, coming in from Arizona here at Day of the Shred. How you guys doing?
Good.
California weather treating you okay? Or?
Yeah, definitely. little crazy last night in the rain, but it's still been in the fucking 90s at home during the day, so it's nice to get out of that.
Okay, cool. So you guys' tour, believe it or not, on internet forums and whatnot, has been kind of awaited. So you got a lot of guys on the East Coast waiting for you guys to show up sooner or later. Any word on that, or?
Nothing definite. I mean, hopefully we can make something happen next year, but nothing definite. I mean, pretty much the whole band is just out of pocket. You know, I mean, it's all funded ourselves, and you know, we work our asses off and don't really have a lot of money flowing around, so it's tough. It was tough to pull even a few dates together on the West Coast, but you know, I mean, we're working on it. Hopefully summer next year, but nothing definite.
Okay. So in concerns to that, I sometimes like to ask musicians about how hard it is to be a musician nowadays. So being an independent, I guess, artist, sort of, you know, the money's not flowing around as it used to back in the day. So how are you guys handling that situation as far as paying out of your pocket for some of this stuff and whatnot? What do you guys feel on it?
I mean, I think it's all right. The way the internet works now, it's pretty easy to reach out to people, and you know, when we put out our record, it did fairly well, and it was received fairly well, and you know, again, it was not a cheap endeavor, but we were able to get the money back and put more money into the band. I think that's what helped us be able to tour. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I wasn't touring 20 years ago because I was a kid, but I suspect it's a lot easier now than it was then. Networking is a lot easier now. Finding the fucking venue is a lot easier than it was. So, yeah, I mean, you know, you hope to get to a point where you get label support on stuff like that. But, yeah, it's work, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, in the end, right? It's worth it.
Yeah. We're definitely happy to be on the road.
You definitely got to put a lot into it, and it's one of those things that it comes out of your pocket and it comes out of your time. But like, I mean, really, if anybody anymore is getting into music to try and like have it easy, like they're going to be disappointed anyway, you know. So it works out pretty much just as expected, you know. You get out of it what you put into it, and we're putting in as much as we can, I guess. Yeah. We're just hoping for you know, things to work out. We're doing what we like, and if other people like it, so far some people are, and we're extremely grateful for it. So
you guys are well received all over the net, and I want to say internationally as well, so I think your hard work's paid off.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be doing well. Like you said, super grateful. Intend to keep working and keep pushing it. You know, it's kind of the only thing I really give a shit about in life is playing music. So
when you hear like people like Ingwe make those kind of comments, I don't know if you guys know something he said recently.
I didn't catch it.
He said there's not going to be any more superstars in rock and roll and heavy metal. And you guys got anything to say?
I kind of think that there's a lot to be said for that. Like, I don't really care, to be honest, but there's a lot of truth in that. I mean, anymore, if you look around, there really aren't any like rock stars, you know. It's all like pop stars, you know. That's what we have, are like tailor-made people playing tailor-made music, you know. And if that's the case, they can have it. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Comes from the heart, that's when it's the best, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody playing music, it shouldn't be their goal to be famous, you know, or even make a living out of it. You know, I've always felt like if the band can pay for itself, that would be fucking amazing. That would be like the greatest success of my life if we could fund the band on its own. So, you know, definitely no stars in our eyes.
Okay.
And I think there's some validity to what he said too. I think most of the dudes doing it nowadays feel the same way. It seems like it's It's for the
it's
love
generally
of it.
agreed upon. Yeah, what he said. What you guys said. It has a lot more truth to it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, like this fest, for example, I don't think anybody who's here is here because it's something that they are doing for any sort of monetary, capital gain or recognition. I think everybody who's playing this fest today is doing it because it's what they have to do. That's why we're here for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of which, this is a kind of a big event for I want to say doom metal and stoner and sludge. What do you guys think of stuff like this resurfacing more often? Do you guys?
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, MDF on the East Coast is great, and it would be
that's
nice.
the show, right?
Yeah, it would be nice to have something like that out here, and I think this is definitely working on it. We have Terror Fest at home, and that's also working on it. So it's great to see those kinds of things popping up, and to see people giving smaller bands like us a chance too. So yeah, I think it's awesome.
Oftentimes, us Americans are a little envious of those. You see those flyers all the time from Europe. And,
No, absolutely.
And it's like, and I'd say this show or this festival today is more reminiscent of one of those European style major festivals. Where it's almost like it's like for fans by the fans.
Yeah.
I think with this kind of music, that's kind of how it is in general. It's kind of ingrained. It's definitely a communal
Very do-it-yourself.
sort of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's awesome, right? So, origins of the band name. I know it has something to do with some historical figures, but a lot of people want to know on the net some more. If you can elaborate more on the name.
Well, definitely Francisco Goya is the influence, but he had a specific painting called Saturn Devouring His Son that is one of my favorite pieces of art. Amongst other paintings he did a series of paintings at the end of his life that's been labeled the Black Paintings, when he was just kind of holed up in his house and depressed. And all of those paintings are amazing. A lot of them people would recognize if they saw them. But particularly the Saturn painting is an inspiration, and I always like bands with succinct names. We had a list of names, and when the band formed, that was the one that we all were able to agree upon, was just Goya.
Very unique, by the way.
Well, there is a Polish pop band named Goya
I'm aware
too.
of that, but
we've been asked if we were playing Germany a couple of times because of that.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
You guys blow them out of the park.
Maybe we'll have to be Goya BC someday. I don't know.
That's funny. All right, so 777. I know in other interviews, like one for the Sludgelord, you talked a little bit about it. Are you willing to reveal any more clues of what it's all about?
Well, definitely Aleister Crowley was an influence on that. There's also, I've always been a really number-oriented person, so that plays into it. Another thing that plays into it is there's stuff with the tempos on the album. That's really a big
so we got
part
some
of it.
clues there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you guys have a split with Winded Giant, right? Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. It's been quite a process, like any record, but it should be coming out the end of this year. Our track off of it is going to be an alternate version of a track off of our upcoming full-length. STB Records is going to be putting both of those out. He's been fucking awesome, super supportive and helpful. And
You're talking about Steve?
yeah, Steve. Yeah,
I'm interviewing him tomorrow.
Awesome,
Nice.
awesome. Yeah, it's been a great experience working with him, and it's really nice to have somebody who's really passionate about it as well behind us on it. But yeah, that should be out hopefully by the end of this year. Okay. We're playing some shows with them up north.
Right,
Yeah.
So over in Oregon, no?
We were playing Salem, Oregon on the 4th, and Seattle on the 5th. and Tacoma on the 6th,
Okay.
all with them.
It should be. So hey, if you're out there, you better go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Please.
Please do.
Yeah, these guys deserve it. All right, so for all the gearheads out there, if you guys can talk a little bit about the type of gear you guys are using right now.
You go first.
Well, I mean, drums, I try and just keep everything simple. You know, I play Mapex drums, Evans heads, I swear by them. The Evans hydraulic heads get like super hefty tone, and you can beat the crap out of them. Like I tend to hit pretty hard.
Durable, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've just got an array of Zildjian cymbals. It's basically, I mean, I've got pretty much the same setup I've been playing for a long time. It's just a lot more stripped down these days. Like, I came from a background of like grindcore and death metal and stuff like that, like when I was a kid coming up. And this is Goya's the first band I've ever played in that's not, you know, just
Super fast
balls
paced.
out all the time. Yeah. So all the little bells and whistles, splash cymbals and bells and things, like I don't need them for this. So it's actually been a very liberating experience, and it's been a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be when I joined the band. I was not the original drummer, so I came into something and had to learn how to slow down, and it's a lot harder than people think it is.
A lot of people think that playing doom metal or whatever is easy, but it's really not, because if you don't have a good drummer, you're not going to sound good.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, but I mean, drums are, I try to kind of just keep a hefty backbone to what these guys do with guitar tones. You know, we're definitely a very riff-driven band.
Of course, you got plenty of them.
Mm-hmm. As far as the bass, Sonny over here is.
Say hello.
Hello. I'm using Jeff's head,
Yeah.
Jeff's amp, and Mike's bass.
Mike.
Joe.
Oh, sometimes they.
Joe.
Oh,
bass I'm getting
the
at.
bass right now. Actually,
you
our
can-
old bass player is loaning him a bass for this tour.
Yeah.
So if you want
Sonny here jumped in and helped us out a lot. We've had just kind of a revolving door with the bass position, and Sonny's just a machine. He learned all the material in like a week and has gone out and
Props to you, man.
Yeah.
major props. Sonny is definitely part of the Goya family. I think it's safe to say.
absolutely.
Like,
But we've got a Sun concert bass for our head.
Oh man.
And a couple. I mean, we have an old shitty PV cab that weighs about 1,000 pounds.
I have one of those actually.
Yeah, 4x10.
Hey, but they're reliable.
Yeah. And SWR 4x10 as well. And we have a big muff that he plays out of for the fuzz.
An American one, or
Yeah, it's like a new American one.
it's the reissue of the old school?
Yeah, the bigger one.
Yeah.
I've pretty much had to fund as much of the bass as possible, just because, like he said, we've had a revolving door with our.
It's also a last minute
bass.
edition, right?
Yeah. Fortunately, I had all the gear because of the situation as it's been in the past. The guitar right now, I'm playing on a Sovtek Make 100, and out of an orange 4x12 and an Ampeg 4x12. I play on an SG. I have a Les Paul that I plan to work back in, but I generally use the SG.
Can't go wrong with the SG.
Yeah,
especially for this
great.
time.
Yeah, definitely.
You're riffing like you owe me like that. You can't go wrong
right,
with the
yeah.
SG, right?
Naomi had it right for
Yeah.
sure.
And I use Magic Fuzz from Magic Pedals for
Oh.
my fuzz. That thing is fucking awesome. Best pedal purchase I've ever made. And what did I miss? You know, that just the pedals. You know, I have a Space Echo delay, which is a pretty integral part of the sound of the band. We were lucky enough in the studio on our latest album to use an actual Space Echo. We used it on the vocals all over the album. I have a Phase 100, which is basically a Phase 90 with multiple settings on it. And what am I missing?
Dude, I don't even know what all you got in that chain, man.
Wah, Crybaby Wah.
Okay. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
That's really distinct in the mix when
Yeah,
I listen to
yeah,
the record.
definitely,
So.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a new one for pedals. In
Yeah.
terms of fuzz.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be running similar types of pedals.
Looking forward to use that Grim Reaper.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
right. They have that one.
Yeah, I'm
today.
hoping to use that today. Just go for it.
Have you tested it out
I
already?
haven't yet, but
I'm sure
it's
it looks
it's
killer,
a big
though.
muff modeled pedal, so
Oh,
I
okay.
already know. I mean, volume up,
Yeah.
sustain
Everything
up.
up.
It's gonna fix itself.
2 or 3 o'clock. I already know where I want it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so probably just throw it in the mix today.
All right. So, any bands right now that you guys are listening to that stand out to you that you guys want to mention?
Oh, jeez. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
aside from the obvious ones, what am I listening to a lot of right now? That's always a tough question.
Right, there's so many.
Yeah, well, I'm always. It's tough for me being put on the spot to come up with a list of things.
It's okay. I get
my musical taste is all over the place as well too. So it's
Oh really?
yeah, I listen to all kinds of stuff. But I think the stuff that's been in heavy rotation for me lately, pretty much everything by The Body.
Oh okay.
I really dig those guys. Super nice guys. Also, Dope Throne.
Oh, shouts out to them.
Yeah, Dope Throne is killer. Electric Wizard's always in rotation. Sabbath is always in rotation. Church of Misery too. Yeah, those dudes rule.
I listen to a lot of Thin Lizzy, probably more Thin Lizzy than,
Oh, yeah.
than anything else. Like all the
Those
fucking
guys don't get
time
enough
I'm listening
credit.
To them. No way.
Yeah.
They're getting a good amount these days. It seems like, but yeah, not enough.
Yeah.
You could never give them enough credit.
Yeah.
That's honestly like
They're-
80% of what I listen to.
That's awesome. That's not a name I hear often in people's. Oh, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
And it should
yeah.
be.
That's the
crazy.
thing, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I've been listening to a lot of Thurston Moore lately. That's
Oh, okay.
about it.
All right, fair enough.
Sonny and I both are all over the place.
Oh yeah. Well, that's good, right? Okay. So, heading up north, is it your first time going up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
First time.
So,
in this band.
is there anything you're nervous about going up there or anything like that?
Well, we rented a van, so hopefully they had their shit together and it works fine. Other than that, not really. I mean, we dealt with fucking insane storms last night, so that was.
No, it was raining hard.
Yeah.
It was raining hard.
So, I mean, nothing really. I've been up north in other bands in the past, and I mean, I really like it up there. So, really looking forward to getting back up there.
Yeah. You guys often get compared to obviously Electric Wizard and Sleep at times.
Yeah.
You guys have anything to say about that, or?
I mean, they're two fucking great bands. That,
Amazing bands, yeah.
I think those two bands and Sabbath are the main influence in creating this band. Like I said, I listen to a lot of Thin Lizzy, but it's a different style, and it's not really what I want to play. And I think really what all of that comes down to is just listening to those bands a lot, and it kind of subconsciously seeps in. It's more of a struggle to not sound like them than it is to sound like them.
Yeah.
Just because I've been listening to Time to Die nonstop since it came out. I didn't mention that because I figured that was obvious.
Oh yeah.
Definitely Electric Wizard's a no-brainer. So for me, that it just kind of seeps in whether I want it to or not, and I'm always trying to sound not too much like either of those bands. I think on our upcoming album that there's a little more Sleep sound than there is Electric Wizard. It kind of leans that way a little more.
You guys at times have while the Doom is obviously in there, you guys have some times where I want to say there's a rock and roll vibe
Yeah,
to your music.
maybe that's because I listen to Thin Lizzy a lot. I don't
Right?
know. Maybe
So
that
we'll be
seeps
hearing
in
more
there.
of that, or?
I don't know. I mean, actually, I think our next release is somewhat written already. There's a little bit of it. It always kind of creeps in a little bit. But I don't think there's ever any real intention of like, okay, this is
what I'm
this
gonna
is
do.
the style of music this album's gonna be. It's just whatever songs come out. I think, you know, the majority of the riffs that we end up using in the band just kind of come out of nowhere. Like I'll just hear something in my head and say, oh, I need to figure out how to play that. So it's I mean, you know, there's an intent with the band, but it's not always specific to what kind of sound we're going on.
It just kind of happens, right?
Yeah.
Jeff writes. It's crazy. Like it's a really refreshing experience as a drummer. Like to be able to come in and like, because I'm used to being in, you know, like I said, coming from like more like grindcore, you know, those type of backgrounds where everybody's kind of like, oh, this, and throw everything in the pot, you know, like. Jeff writes material, so as a drummer, like I get to approach it in like a full, you know, spectrum, if that makes sense.
You get your
for the most part, yeah. Like
control.
there's times he'll come in and he comes out with, you know, 9 minutes worth of material, and it's a matter of piecing it together. And then once we do that, he's always coming up with things and changing things, and things morph into, you know, whatever. But there's never like a, you know, oh, this is the Sleep riff, this is the Black Sabbath part. You know?
Okay.
It's not really like that, you know, like it just happens.
Things
I mean,
are just
I think
happening.
kind of back to, you know, a little bit of the previous question in terms of like those influences. It's like, I mean, they're going to be apparent, you know. I mean, Bill Ward was one of the reasons I started playing drums. You know, my dad was into Black Sabbath and all that shit when I was growing up, and like when I heard Bill Ward play on the Wizard, like it blew my mind, you know, like, and it just sounded so fun. So that kind of stuff, I mean, it inevitably comes through, but we don't ever sit there and be like, this is going to be like, you know, this song.
Okay.
Or, you know, we don't mix and match parts like that with any sort of pretense, I guess.
Things just kind of flow and come together. You guys are a jammy band.
Well, like he said, I'll usually come with some material, you know.
Then build off of that.
Yeah, he'll usually work out what he's gonna do on drums, and you know, 99% of the time it's similar to what I thought, but 10 times better. So,
aw, thanks.
yeah, I mean, definitely the next album is going to be really drum heavy, and there's a focus on drums because he wasn't on the last one, and I think he's just a really good drummer.
His chops are going to show.
Yeah, really.
That's cool. I'm excited about that. Okay. So in the last, I want to say 4 years, I feel that doom metal and everything related, sludge and stoner, has kind of spiked, and it's kind of gotten bigger.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to see the doom bands get a lot more love. Like last year, I want to say, like I said, maybe like 2012, around there, we're having really high quality albums coming out, and I want to say some of them are modern classics. Do you guys feel that this will continue? It's here to stay, or
the popularity of it?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think the music will always be there, but I think that there definitely is a trend right now. You know, I think that in 5 years we'll see some people kind of taper out, but I think the music will always be there, and I think the good bands will stick around, you know, and
absolutely
I think I don't think it'll die out by any means. I mean, I think there's a lot of genuine people that are really into it right now, so hopefully it does. Hopefully it keeps growing, you know. Hopefully we fucking just destroy the planet, you know.
Well, I sometimes feel like the way you guys got so big is because everybody's so interested in finding. I almost feel like the Doom fans are more dedicated to their genre or to what they're listening to than the others. So we have to look harder.
Right.
We have to really dig. I mean,
Right.
I found you guys on Bandcamp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember when you guys were. I remember when you guys had like 300 likes on Facebook.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
me
how
too.
the hell is this band?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the interest in like certain, I mean, because metal and heavy music has essentially just clusterfucked itself into 1,000 subgenres,
Yeah.
and everybody wants to classify everything, and that's fine, you know, whatever. But like, interest in these things is always there. I mean, like, you look at like thrash is kind of still in the middle of like a big huge resurgence, but that shit's always been there, you know.
This is thrash land here, this area.
Yeah,
so.
there've always been dudes doing it like the entire time. It's just like now people are a little more interested in it, and when people aren't, there will still be guys doing it, you know. Black metal, you know, like black metal was pretty huge, and then kind of, you know, at least on my radar, went by the wayside.
Stagnated.
But now it's like it's coming up. Like, you got people with tape labels, you got all kinds of stuff coming out, a lot of US black metal and stuff like that. So yeah, I think with it applies to what we play as well. There will be, you know, periods and times where it will reach an apex of sorts and then kind of just bottom out, but we're still going to be doing it, and hopefully all of our favorite dudes will be doing it too, you know.
Yeah, this goes back to adding people who want to do this out of passion.
For sure.
Those are the guys that are probably going to be around some 10, 15 years from now, and all the other guys who want to make money, they're probably going to move on to something else, right?
Because
So
it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, all right, so we got a new album in the works.
Yeah. Summer next year is what it looks like on
man.
that. Yeah, we started recording in May, and honestly just finished up recording the vocals and you know, all the little bells and whistles. Took a lot of time, just doing cool little things on songs, getting the mix just right.
Is there like a lyrical theme?
Man, I
Oh,
wasn't
that makes
really
me excited.
gonna talk about this.
With time.
I mean, it is a concept album.
Okay.
It's the first concept album I've ever done, so I don't know that it really made it to what I was hoping for, and it'll probably be a little while before we do another one. But I mean, it's essentially a concept album based around. It sounds kind of cliche, but like hell and demons and serial killers.
Can't go wrong with that, though.
That's the general overall concept. A lot of it has to do with Richard Ramirez. Actually, there's a strange experience that happened. There's a song on it called Beyond Good and Evil, and I had been recording a demo for it in 2013. And I had pretty much finished recording the demo and said the next day I was gonna finish it up, and that was gonna be it. And I did finish it up that day, and that was the same day Richard Ramirez died. So
I remember
it was just
when
kind
you
of
walked
Oh,
into
wow.
a strange
the rehearsal
experience
space,
that happened.
Wow. It's almost like it was poetic or something.
Yeah,
right?
it was really weird. I was kind of freaked out by it. You know, I don't think I had anything to do with it. It was just a bizarre coincidence that was a little shocking.
It makes it a little special.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, you know. Just
All right,
came
so
full circle or something. I don't know.
everybody has something to look forward to right now, because you guys have quite a dedicated following. So I think everybody's going to be very happy to hear.
The split will be a pretty hefty preview.
Yeah.
Okay.
As to what's
Yeah.
to come, because it's, you know, I mean, we discussed it being full length, like, because it's not a 7-inch.
No, it's
like,
a 12-inch.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
full
12-inch.
size
Our
split.
song is
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
14 minutes.
Yeah, it's one hefty song. So
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be a really kind of big scale preview as to some of what's going to be like.
You're going to give us an early high.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Right?
And we have some other stuff coming out too between that and the album. That won't be the only 2 releases, so there will be some little things to tide the fans over.
Okay. Merchandise. 777 vinyls and shirts are. I know you guys made a couple of announcements on Facebook about it, but not everybody reads everything on Facebook because of the way it works. Can you guys fill everybody in on if those guys are going to come back in stock after you guys finish this tour?
Well, Well, we did an original pressing of 500 of them. That's the only pressing right now. And I put a good chunk aside for when we toured so that people who, you know, were able to come out and see us at the shows would be able to get their hands on a record if they wanted one. So we do have a good amount of records left. We have at least some sizes of every t-shirt we've printed. We have a lot of new shirts too. So we've got a lot of stuff that we brought with us on the road, and whatever we have when we get back will go up online on our online store. So you know, it'd be nice if we sold out all the records, but I don't think that's going to happen. So,
think so?
I mean, I brought
north,
77 records with us, and I suspect that we'll come home with a few. So hopefully for people that aren't able to see us, there'll be a few more. There is talks of a repress of 777 as a double LP. Which it really should have been a double LP in the first place. To be totally frank, I didn't really know what I was doing with pressing a record, and it's a 52-minute record, and you really should not put 26 minutes of music on one side of a 12-inch record. And I was an idiot and didn't realize that. And now I know. So
Well, you were also doing it yourself.
Sure,
So-
yeah. And as stated before, I'm not very rich, but
Again, those people that don't know how
Yeah.
hard it is to be in a band, make all these decisions.
yeah.
Some a little bit of a taste for you there.
And every one of those decisions costs money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there are plans to repress it as like a really nice packaged double LP in the future. Our demo is going to be repressed soon through Totem Cat Records with an extra track on it. So there's you know, the older stuff should be available in the future.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for me.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Thank
All right,
you
well,
guys.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.